The mushrooms whisper of a new bird in down. They tell us her nest lies beyond the cold, cold moon. And she came here to witness tragedies. She feeds on these tales you see, sucking their fire dry like marrow from a bone. Her eyes are on us now. Like a vulture she waits, knowing that we somebodies are about to tear each other apart.
When a sinkhole devours your fire, give it up or dive in after it. An old swamp saying. Another old swamp saying went, when dealing with a troubled and troublesome Mulgrim, do not light a fire beneath her, but help her build one from within.
Oh, my neck hearkens the anguished howls of the Mulgrim, and the bitter patter of feet. A somebody and its flame, albeit a small one. 'Tis enough, perhaps. The Mulgrim's precious shards, they must be returned to her lair, to her cauldron. Only then may the cleansing fire burn. The ragdoll's whisper of one shard kept by the dark itself. Another was stolen by the greedy moonbird up in the hilltops. The last one, perhaps the cowardly head knows. The heads betrayed us bodies, but not before we had betrayed ourselves. Fire in fist. The shards of fire. They must be restored to the cave. Good evening. Or is it morning or afternoon? Hard to tell without a sun, isn't it? No, it is most certainly night. Or moonbirds hooting wouldn't make sense at all. Speaking of sense, will you help an old bird find some in this story? Fire up these dusty murals in the right order, and you will receive a present, a little gift, yes. Bring the fire to the story. Ended with a great, gruesome beheading. Peace ended with the violent somebodies invaded the valley. And as the heads roll, the time of the Volgrim begins anew. Ended with a great, gruesome beheading. Once upon a time, the Volgrims lived in peace. Once upon a time, the Volgrims lived in peace. Peace ended with the violent somebodies invaded the valley. Peace ended with the violent somebodies invaded the valley. The valley was taken, but then began the battle of the bodies. Intriguing. And as the heads roll, didn't make no sense again. Once upon a time, the Volgrims lived in peace. And as the heads roll, the time of the Volgrim begins anew. Peace ended with the violent somebodies invaded the valley. The valley was taken, but then began the battle of the bodies. Intriguing. Now run. Do try again. heads roll, the time of the pilgrim begins anew. Once upon a time, the pilgrims lived in peace. The battle ended with a great gruesome beheading. Peace ended when the violent sun bodies invaded the valley. And as the heads roll, the time of the pilgrim begins anew. The battle ended with a great gruesome beheading. Peace ended when the violent sun bodies invaded the valley. The valley was taken, but then began the battle of the bodies. Peace ended with the violent sun bodies. Peace ended with the violent sun bodies. The battle ended with a great gruesome beheading. And as the heads roll, the time of the as the heads roll, the time of the pilgrim begins anew. The valley was taken, but then began the That's not the way the story plays. The heads roll. Once upon a time, the pilgrims lived in peace. Once upon a time, the pilgrims lived in peace. And as the heads roll, the time of the pilgrim begins. The battle ended with a great gruesome beheading. The valley was taken, but then began the battle of the body. The valley was taken, but then began the battle of the bodies. Intriguing. Peace ended when the violent sun bodies invaded the valley. The battle ended with a great The battle ended with a great gruesome. I'm growing impatient and hungry. Try a different order. Once upon a time, the pilgrims lived in peace. Peace ended when the violent sun bodies invaded the valley. The valley was taken, but then began the battle of the bodies. The battle ended with a great, gruesome beheading. in peace, sharing good eatings and howlings around their fire, which they had inherited from the skies. Then one terrible night came the violent somebodies. They hunted the Mogrims for sport and took their fire for themselves. But the somebodies knew not what they were dealing with, for as soon as they held the fire in their grubby hands, they began to fight one another with it. To save themselves from themselves, the cunning heads turned on their bodies and organized a great building. And so it was that somebodies became nobodies, and the bodies were exiled. A time of peace would ensue, or so the headlings thought. The last living Mogrim had been biding her time, and saw now an opportunity to return and take bloody vengeance upon the heads, who were now left defenseless without their bodies. Of the Mogrim begins anew, a storied meal indeed. Moonbird thanks you for feeding her, and proudly upholds the promise. A gift, a shard from the Mogrim's own cauldron. It looked so shiny in the moonlight. Moonbird simply had to take it. For now, she'll see you in the light.
eat me! Well, if you're not gonna gobble me up, then can you maybe take me away from here? Please? Somewhere closer to Nobodyville and away from here. Get me out of this neck hole, please! I'm begging you on my bare chin, and I'll pay you for the effort. Handsomely with a beautiful shard from the Mulgrim's cauldron. Take me back to... Look out!
Body stands approach over the mountain, vain and violent. We ragdolls observe, we record, and we mimic. Their faces wear masks, they do not know what the sordid yearning hides behind. His hands will tell, we put on a mask, we perform, and we put on a show.
Watch out! He's here! Watch out! Look out! He sees us. She sees us. She's here! Look out! Phew, thanks for saving my neck. And I think I have a reward for you. A real treasure. There you go. One of the 3 missing shards from the Mulgrim's cauldron. Yeah, I stole it. Oh, I thought I could maybe buy me some kind of ticket away from, well, everything. Start anew, you know? A good head on a pair of healthy, strong shoulders. Eyes on the horizon. Gosh, the horizon. Do you know I haven't seen it once since I lost my body? I really do miss my body. It's a real shame when you think about it, you know? The things that we do to ourselves, to one another. What we did to her, kind. All in the name of some sort of control. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, I guess I'm sad. Sad and sorry. Hey, thanks. You're a great listener. You know that? Just take care of that shard now. Maybe put it back where it belongs and... yeah. Goodbye.
The ragdoll's whisper of one shard kept by the dark itself. Another was stolen by the greedy moon bird up in the hilltops. The last one, perhaps the cowardly head knows.
It's easy to lose one's head when everything you love is either gone, broken, or dead. Yet another forgotten swamp saying. She'd never been much for company until she had met the other one. He had shimmering scales, an appetite for life, and carried a faint scent of rotting leaves she found irresistible. Oh, how they used to laugh at the distant stars, bitterly, together.
The howls of the Mulgrim have gone with the wind, and our headaches settled into gentle throbbing. Thank you, somebody, for you have not only graciously saved our necks, but also demonstrated the value of brain mass and heart blob working together. Could it be time for the bodies to return? We must convene on this matter, and you and your wandering flame must now leave through our gates and keep on walking the Midnight Walk to Moon Mountain.
Moon Mountain!
Here you go, somebody. This key will open the town gates. The mountain once again beckons, and the call is answered. Fare thee well, and take good care of your flame. The dark itself is hungry.
Bodies might be returning head-on now. I've had enough. First it was the big Mogrim hunt, and then when they forced us out into that make-a-forgiven swamp. I hate hiking. And then when we had nothing left to hunt, we started fighting each other. And then Mr. Mayor gets this grand idea that we should chop our own heads off and banish our bodies. How does that even scientifically work? I've had enough of civilization.
Back from a little swamp detour, huh? Hope the heads didn't give you too much trouble. At least your head looks attached to its shoulders and your friend's is, well, burning. So do not despair. Should you once again lose your way along the Midnight Walk, you're probably meant to. The body can be a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. Protect the spark. Find its home, won't you? see you down the road.
Have a special relationship with fire. We do not cook over it. We do not shed tales around it. We care not for its warmth. Ours is a different connection entirely. Fire is our window to truth and into the world beyond clay, to which we must return. We are noble beings, bringers of bugs, slime, and mushrooms to help decompose the old and to bring about the new. We are the caretakers of this world, and woe be to those who seek to end us, for they seek to end themselves.
dreadful was the day when the sun vanished. The waters dried up, birds went quiet, and the dark itself seeped unchecked into the work table as the cold, chewed paper moon rose over the mountain. The night that followed would be long as the Midnight Walk. The burnt one was there. You do not remember, but you feel it, don't you? You are reborn when need arises. This night, Port Boy needs you, and Moon Mountain beckons. Its call irresistible. A storm is coming. The soothsayers have spoken.
She came back one day from a long while. There once was a freezing cat who was looking for shelter when she came across a dark cave. "Step into my abode," offered the dark. "It will warm you if you surrender your wants."